Hey guys, nothingwire.com, and we're having a look at the brand new HTC Desire 616 dual SIM. Now this guy sits right between the 516 and the 816, as the name suggests. Of course, you won't get it in all market. Now, for example, I've seen this listed on Amazon.com for about $250, but I'm not sure that was the only piece listed. I'm not sure whether that was imported, because HTC USA official page does not list this one on their page. In fact, they don't have many HTC phones really on their page, and even Amazon.co.uk, this phone's not available. Here in India, you'd get it for about 18,500 Indian rupees on both Amazon.in and Flipkart.com, identical pricing. Now, having a look at the hardware here. Sorry, we do not have the box, so we cannot show you the content of the box, but we know that you get your usual accessories with the box. For example, your earphones and USB charger and USB cable, and also extra earbuds with the box, and your warranty cards and other manuals. So having a look over the hardware, this guy has a 5-inch screen. It's all plastic. It has a very glossy back cover that attracts a lot of fingerprints and smudges. The same can be said for the glossy front as well. It's glass, and it also has very glossy front and attracts a lot of fingerprints. But apart from that, despite of being plastic, well, this guy feels like plastic. It also kind of makes sound when you tap it even slightly. So this is not exactly very closely knit, but the phone feels solid in hand. However, the back kind of at times feel very slightly loose, but that's a usual phenomena when you have a plastic removable back on a phone. The sides of the phone, however, is matte and has a very nice plastic rubbery kind of a feeling that gives a good hold. Plus, it also looks quite nice. However, there's the same color as the back panel and the overall color of the phone. So we have the gray model. You also get the white and the red and the blue models as well. You can take a pic. I'm not sure whether all of the colors are available in India, but we know that at least white and gray are available, even probably the red one. Desire 616 has a 5-inch screen and HD resolution. On top of the screen you have the earpiece, your notification LED lights and ambient sensors, and your 2MP front camera. Nothing much on the left side really, and this guy is not thin. It's about 9.15 mm only. Then below you have your mouthpiece, micro USB 2.0 port, and the hole to open the back flap. On the right side you have the power button and the volume rocker, and on top you have the 3.5 mm jack. Behind you have the 8MP autofocus camera accompanied by an LED flash, your HTC branding, and the lone speaker there. Now note that the back camera can record at full HD, but the front camera can only record at 720p. Once you remove the back cover, you would see the 2000 mAh battery, and you also see the dual SIM card slots. So one of them is full SIM, and then other one is a micro SIM, and then you would also see a micro SD card that supports up to 32 gig of storage. This is in additional to the already 4GB available for the phone. Now the first SIM supports 3G, and the second SIM supports only 2 or 2.5G. You have the 2000 mAh battery. The back flap, well, looks kind of the usual thickness, not very rugged and also not very thin as well. So overall the phone feels quite nice in hand. I just wish it did not attract so many fingerprints. Spec-wise, the HTC Desire 616 is powered by a MediaTek MT6592 chipset that has an octa-core 1.4 GHz Cortex A7 CPU and a Mali 450 MP4 GPU. It has 1 GB of RAM and 4 GB of internal storage that can be extended by another 32 GB with the help of the micro SD card. 8MP back camera can record at full HD, front 2MP camera can record at 720p. It has that 2000 mAh battery, and this guy is powered by Android Jelly Bean, and you have HTC Sense 5.5 UI on top. Overall, we are quite impressed by the 616's display. Now, it has that 5-inch capacitive screen with HD resolution 720 by 1280 pixels, which translates to about 294 ppi of color density. Under 300 ppi is generally considered low, but we really had to go to a microscopic level to see the pixelation on the icons and the round surfaces and the text. The color accuracy are fine, saturation and hue are more towards natural. It just slightly tends to oversaturate the red and the light blue color palettes. Apart from that, overall the picture viewing and the video watching experiences are bright and crisp, actually more than and better than we expected. The viewing angles are also good, more than average but not exactly spectacular. After about 75 degree angle, the screen starts to discolor a bit, and even the reflections take over. So probably 3 or 4 people can watch a movie on this screen very nicely, but not from a very slant angle. The text readability on web as well as on PDF are very fine, absolutely perfect, and even when you go to full brightness, it exactly does not wash out the colors. The low brightness could have been slightly lower to save more battery. The Desire 616 is powered by Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean, and you have Sense 5.5 UI on top. Now, I assume that Sense 5.5 UI is for a relatively non-flagship series of phones from HTC. It does not go bone deep into the Android, so you will largely have a very Jelly Beanish kind of an experience overall on the phone. And also, we do not have any official confirmation whether this guy will be updated to KitKat, if at all. Now you have the usual unlock screen with options to add the widgets on the left and then the camera on the right. Once you unlock that, you get to the home screen, which has a blink feed as the leftmost home screen, and then you can add 5 more home screen. Simply long press on any empty area on the home screen to add your wallpapers and widgets and apps and other stuff. The notification bar is also usual. You can do away with all the notifications at once or one by one. You also have the option to go to the quick function toggle bar, from which you can toggle or you can switch on or off various functions. You can also long press any particular function to go to the full settings. You also have a small tab on top to go to the complete setting menu, where you'll have usual Jelly Bean settings, really connection settings. This phone does not have NFC, nor you have Wi-Fi Direct and DLNA and other features. The storage, this guy comes with 4 GB internal storage. You get about just under 2 GB of free space there. However, you can directly save your game app data plus additional data onto the SD card. So if you have SD card, go to the storage, select your SD card as the default write disk, and the games will directly get saved to SD card. Apart from that, you can add various accounts like your your Google account, corporate account, WeChat account. You can add Facebooks and other stuffs. Then you would see that this guy, the app dock is customizable. You can long press on the home screen to straight away go to Google Now, and there is also a recent app button. You can see the apps listed there, but there is no close all button, so you cannot close all the recently opened apps at once. You'll have to close all of them by swiping one by one. It has largely the usual list of apps. You have the default Google Android apps like Gmail and Maps and YouTube and stuff. You also have some popular third-party apps like let's say WeChat or Facebook, etc. You also have some of the usual HTC in-house tool like your video players and your music player, video highlights, FM radios, etc., etc. Overall, the phone is relatively smooth for day-to-day usage if you're not doing very heavy multitasking. One thing we do not like is that the capacitive screen here is not exactly feather touch, so you have to give slight more pressure for any transaction to happen. Overall, it's smooth, but it lags at times, especially when you have a lot of recent apps opened on the background. The dialer is the usual Google Jelly Bean dialer. The default browser renders the desktop web pages pretty nicely. The scrolling is very smooth, no lag at all, and the pinching in and out, zooming in and out is also quite smooth with no data loss at all. We also tried some mobile optimized websites and they are rendered pretty good. We did an HTML5 testing and it scored in just an average 406 out of 555. All the other settings are usual and they're not much to talk about. The gallery has the photos and the albums in fact arranged in stacks side by side. You can sort all the photos according to albums or locations or times. You can go inside any of the albums and then inside a photo to be able to edit it. You have the default Jelly Bean editing options. Really, you can add more colors and then frames, and you can crop and rotate and alter the photos, and also you can increase the vibrance and exposures, vignetting and sharpness and some of the other stuff. You can also share the photos in many means. However, note that you can share more than one photo or video together, but you cannot batch edit any photo. The 8MP autofocus camera UI has the usual but clean options. You have options to switch between the front and back camera, flash options, HDR on or off, or also smile detect. You also have some shooting mode, like for example the normal mode, a live photo mode that kind of records a 5-second video of the photo that you take, slightly like Zoe. And then you also have a beauty mode, and then your the still takes about a second to process, but if you switch on the zero shutter lag option in settings, it works just fine, almost zero lag. The video recording is also fast. You can pause the video recording and again start at another point to create a single video file. Eventually, you can also click snaps while recording videos. The settings are usual. You have image properties and scene modes, and also zero shutter delay. It clicks 40 continuous shots. The ISO range goes up to 1600. You have preview sizes and also the video quality as fine or high, medium, the usual options. Really, you have time lapse as well. The photo and video quality are very decent under enough light. We like the photo details. The saturation and hue are proper, and it also does not oversaturate the red and the blue part like the display does. Under low light, however, shows a bit of noise, mainly because of the small sensor and only 8MP of resolution. The videos are just like the photos, however the metering is not very perfect. As you've heard, the music output is decent. The bass is slightly on the lower side, however it's loud enough. The treble is quite fine, and when you switch on the FX booster from settings, the sound, the bass kind of increases a bit, but at the same time it reduces the speaker output, maybe to prevent from the sound to crackle. The music UI has the usual options of showing artist, albums, songs, and playlist. Does not have folder option. You would have liked that. And the music also can play party shuffle, or it has sound effects, or you can also shuffle the playlist. The usual options really. We tested 4 games on the Desire 616. Fruit Ninja, FIFA 14, Asphalt 8 and Nova 3, and the gameplay performance of the MediaTek processor largely left us confused. It played FIFA 14 and Nova 3 just about perfectly. However, it lagged significantly during Fruit Ninja and also during the high graphic settings in Asphalt 8. However, Asphalt 8 played nicely and smoothly in medium graphic settings, but in high graphic settings, well, we could play, but we saw the frame loss and the overall lag. In Fruit Ninja also there were significant lag. I don't know, maybe the MediaTek QEs must have tested the device or the chipset for some particular games like Nova 3 and all, and they could optimize it. Forgot to set the settings to high while trying out Asphalt 8, maybe, I don't know. So let's talk about some good and then some bad things about the Desire 616. The good things are that this guy has a 5-inch screen, and despite of being an HD only screen, I'm saying that because nowadays a full HD screen is pretty much a normal thing. However, even HD screen on a 5-inch HD resolution on a 5-inch screen on this phone looks very bright and sharp, and we liked what we see on the display, whatever it be it text or videos or images, web pages, anything. So screen is one of the good things, and despite of being a plastic body and a relatively big and fat body, it fits nicely into the hand. It also played the games in a mixed performance manner. Some of the bad things about this is this guy lags a bit even when you're multitasking just above average, plus the both side glossy, meaning that you will leave a lot of fingerprints on both the front as well as on the back panel. Number 3 is that the gameplay performance is mixed again. That will come in both good and bad things, because it plays some games really well, however not so much in case of some other games. And another bad thing is this guy only comes with 4 GB internal storage. However, the good thing hidden there is that you can directly save your game data and even app data to the SD card, so that those 4 GB can be used pretty much for the apps that you need on the phone storage. For example, those apps which widgets and all do not work if you move them to SD card, for example. So it has a lot of competition at this price point, 18,500. We see the price, we see this device slightly overpriced. We assume the price will go down as time proceeds and new models come in the market. However, at this price point, it has maybe the Grand 2 as a competition. Also, there's some other flagship from the Indian manufacturer, the flagship, the Canvas Knight, for example, and then some other phones. It holds out pretty well. There's nothing special about the phone, but then there's nothing particularly bad about this phone as well. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please ask anything related to the device and we'll try to answer them all. And please subscribe to our channel for more such awesome content in the future. Thank you.